Hello, my name is Crawford and I'm a 5th generation maple producer. This spring I was awarded the 2020 Northwestern Pennsylvania Maple Ambassador position, and it's been a great journey. I'm looking forward to continuing it on into the 2020-2021 Pennsylvania State Ambassador competition. I have a sample of my presentation just to share with you. Thank you for this opportunity. Have you ever had maple coated nuts? Better yet, have you ever made maple coated nuts? If you haven't, you're in for a sweet surprise today. Welcome to the Maple Make It Kitchen. My name is Crawford and I'm the 2020 Northwest Pennsylvania Maple Ambassador. So today we're going to talk a little bit about value-added products, why producers make them, and then we're going to dive right in and make some maple coated peanuts. So value-added products are products that maple producers can make that have product ingredients in them other than pure maple syrup. So producers make them because it's an easy way for them to increase their profit margins without increasing their syrup production. So some examples of value-added products are maple condiments like maple barbecue sauces and maple mustards. Maple infused maple syrups are becoming very popular, and maple coated nuts are tasty. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into making some maple coated peanuts. And so we're first going to start off with some safety tips. We're going to want to make sure that your hair is pulled up and out of your face, then your clothing can get caught or get in the way. We don't want to have any dangly jewelry on. And then we're going to go ahead and look at our space. We're going to make sure we have clean counters. There's no kids running around that could get hurt, no dogs. We want to make sure the floor is clean. And if there's no tripping hazards, as we are going to heat up some syrup on the stove and then carry it through our workspace. So making sure that you have good shoes is also important for that, and we want to be cautious when working with hot foods, especially liquids, as they could slosh or spill. So we're going to go ahead and clean off my workspace here a little bit. We're going to set some stuff out of the way so we have plenty of space to work. We're going to go ahead and get our tools out. So we're going to need a saucepan like the one on the stove. Here. Oops. A little bit of preheating. We're going to want a liquid measuring cup, a colander, which you'll see what that's for in just a minute, a nice big bowl to work in, and some parchment paper to lay our peanuts out when we're done. So all that we're gonna need to make this recipe today is 2 pounds of nuts. So I go ahead and I have my peanuts here, and some pure Pennsylvania maple syrup. So first off, we're gonna pour our syrup here, and we're gonna want 1.5 cups of syrup. So remove the seal, cap, 1.5 cups. So there we go. You're also going to want to have a candy thermometer on hand. Like the one that's there. I also have one here. So most of them have this handy clip to keep them upright. And then these are digital ones. So you just have a little stir button and they'll read your temperature for you. So then your syrup is going to go ahead and go into your saucepan. I'm just going to set ours over here. I've already pre-poured this. We're going to want to heat that to about 240 degrees, and so that takes about 20 minutes, and so we got that preheating. Next, we're going to take our nuts and our colander here and pour them in there, and then we're going to want to shake the colander to remove all the dust. Sometimes I find that with a spatula or a spoon here is helpful to make sure that all the dust and debris and skins are off the peanuts. So giving it all equal opportunity to come out. So we're going to stir this again. quite a bit coming, guys. So this is an important step to make sure that your maple syrup will stick to your nuts. Okay, so you can go and see here how much came out. So then we're gonna go ahead and get our big bowl here and pour our nuts into. So we're using an oversized bowl today to make sure that we have enough room to stir and make sure the nuts and the syrup get all mixed together. So we're gonna give them a nice place there. And okay, so we're gonna go ahead and check our temperature. And it looks like we are at 225 degrees. So a few more degrees to go. So we just got just a second to wait. So okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and check our temperature and it looks like we're at 244. So we're gonna go ahead and shut this off. And then we're gonna make sure that our temperature is consistent all through. So it definitely is. So we're gonna go ahead and set that there. Come over here and start to pour our syrup onto our nuts. We're going to grab our spoons and then go ahead and immediately start to cover our nuts. We want to make sure that we get them all coated with the syrup. And then we're just going to keep on stirring here once we get them covered. Center. And it definitely is a stiff stir, so. And they're definitely all coated. We're going to take a second and let them sit. Stir again. So we're waiting on just for the syrup to cool to around 190 before it starts to turn. You want to make sure that you're getting all the peanuts off the bottom, getting them mixed so they don't stick. Keep stirring. They don't have to stir quite as fast now as they are starting to cool. If you guys want to see what they look like. So it actually starts to look like they're going to turn and they're starting to stir a little easier, so our syrup's not quite as sticky. We're going to make sure you want to get it all off the sides of the bowl. This is where the big bowl comes in handy. A lot of surface area allows them to cool well, and then you're not digging through a pile of peanuts to get to the bottom. So it looks like we have some maple nuts here. So, I'm going to keep stirring until they all turn kind of dry looking and you don't see any wetter syrup. Don't be afraid to clean your spoon off while you're doing this. we're gonna go ahead and grab our tray lined parchment paper. Go ahead and pull these out. Peanuts. Set that there. Spread these out. So you really want your peanuts in a single layer, so it looks like we have a little much for this tray. I'm going to go ahead and grab another tray and some more parchment paper so we can do that. So you can also do this on the countertop versus trays. But you do want to make sure that they all get laid out in a single layer. Here you're going to want to make sure that you break up all the clusters. And that's just to make sure that they all dry well and you get all the moisture out. And then later they won't condense. Okay. And there we have it, guys. 2 trays of maple coated nuts. So now that we've went ahead and successfully made our maple coated peanuts, I have some tips from some local sugar makers to share. So Sugar Maker 1 says that they like to bake their maple coated peanuts at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes to remove extra moisture and extend their shelf life. So we went ahead and tried that. If you can see those hanging out there on the stove, and we'll see if we like that. Sugar Maker 2 says that they like to use a ceramic or glass bowl to help with heat loss. Sugar Maker 3 says that they grease their bowl and spoon with butter or margarine to reduce sticking. They also like to grease the top edge of their saucepan to prevent the syrup from boiling over. And Sugar Maker 4 reminds us to check with our local Department of Ag for resale restrictions, as there might be safety regulations on our kitchens, tools, or packaging. For the packaging, this could include listing allergens, ingredients, ounces, and making sure your name is on the package. So, if you are on the lookout for some pure Pennsylvania maple syrup or other delicious maple products, check out pamaple.net, and thanks for tuning in today. My name is Landis Crawford, and I'm the 2020 Northwest Pennsylvania Maple Ambassador. So we're here today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the legend behind the discovery of maple syrup. So the legend has it that once there was an Iroquois Indian chief who threw his tomahawk into a sugar maple tree and then pulled it out and went hunting. And so when he did that, the tomahawk left a gash in the tree. And as it just happened to be late winter, early spring, and as it heated up all day, the sap in the maple sugar tree ran down the bark and gathered into a birch basket that just happened to be underneath the tree. And that evening, when his wife went to cook the venison for their meal, she looked around looking for some water, and she saw that basket full of what she thought was water but was actually maple sap. And so she decided to boil the venison in that. And so as she boiled it, the water evaporated and left behind a sticky syrup. And so when the chief came home that night, he smelled something delicious, and he said that that was the best venison he'd ever had. And so then, once they boiled it down to syrup, they found out that if they took it further, they could make it into maple sugar. So they decided that they would do this, so they would have something sweet to eat all year round. So they would use their tomahawks and cut a slash in the tree much like that one, and then the sap would gather in the baskets, to which they would empty in a hollowed out log. Once the sap was in a log, they would heat up rocks on the fire and set it into the sap, which would evaporate the water, taking it down to a maple syrup and then a maple sugar. So they preferred maple sugar because they could store it as it's dry, and the liquid was very hard for them to store. So then once the settlers came over, they taught them to this, and through the ages, this knowledge has traveled, and so now we still make pure maple syrup, and it's fabulous. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Looking to make your holidays sweet this year? Why not choose PA Maple products? Great for everyday use, a special treat, or a gift for anyone on your list. Check out pamaple.net to find a producer near you. Looking to make your holidays extra sweet this year? Why not choose Pennsylvania Maple products? Maple syrup for your morning pancakes, or gifts for the whole family. Maple sugar for grandma, maple coated nuts for granddad, maple cream for mom, maple mustard for dad, and maple candy for the kids. Check out pamaple.net to find a producer near you.